So you don't see a Christian as anything to do with Judaism, as anything to do with the Jewish people?
No, Abraham's mission was to smash the idols, and you're bringing the idols into our house.
You said that Jewish believers in Jesus choose words to trick people?
Yes. You specifically choose language to make Jews feel comfortable with a message that is very foreign to us and very destructive to us. How could you be seen as a Mashiach?
Because he did fulfill prophecy.
Which prophecy did he fulfill?
Tribe of Judah.
All of our tribe is the tribe of Judah. The fact that you're giving me that shows that there's actually no foundation and basis, in my opinion, respectfully.
It's a Christian YouTube channel where we promote Jewish faith in Jesus.
Well, you know, I'm very much so against that.
Yeah, how come?
Yeah. Because as a people, we're against idolatry.
Yes.
And believing in Christianity and trying to get Jews to Christianity is sort of spiritually destroying us.
How so?
And because you think he's God, of course, that's your opinion. He thinks he's the Messiah.
Yeah.
And I don't see it as that. The Jewish people don't see it as that. So bring us.
Some do actually.
Some, a very small percentage. And of course, there's Jews who are against Israel as well. You know, the fact that there's Jews that believe in that doesn't make it right or wrong.
Right.
But the majority of us throughout history
Right.
have rejected to be converted to Christianity. And I think that the Jews for Jesus movement is trying to make Christianity kosher for Jews and sucking them out of where they're from and bring them to Christianity. So
even though Jews for Jesus believes that Jesus is the Jewish Messiah, so it's
he's the Messiah for the world, including the Jews.
Right.
See, like saying stuff like that is tricking to make Jews see like, oh, it's our Messiah. But it's actually the Messiah for the world that you're projecting, and you're telling Jews to feel like, oh, he's mine too.
Yeah, but Jews are part of the world.
For sure. But you specifically choose language to make Jews feel comfortable with a message that is very foreign to us and very destructive to us.
What do you mean by us?
Us as Jews. You're a Jew,
Jews,
right? So I'm saying us. I'm considering you as my brother.
Yeah.
Even though we disagree on this thing,
I appreciate that.
We're still family. We're still brothers.
And
I'm going to be honest with you.
each other. Oh no, that's what I want.
I'm going to be honest with you.
That's what I want. Have you studied have you ever read the New Testament?
I've read several portions.
Okay.
I would bring all your viewers to Rav Tuvia Singer, which I think is the gadol on this topic, and he breaks down many things.
Even though he disagrees with a lot of the sages.
Which sages?
The sages, Rambam.
How does he disagree with the sages?
That he says that the Jewish people are the nation of that Isaiah prophesies. That the suffering servant is the people of Israel.
Yeah, I think Mashiach is a generation, not a person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the accomplishment of a generation, not a person that's going to come and save the day.
Really?
Definitely not Jesus, who passed away. Zichrono levacha is a fellow Jew that died, but is not a Messiah for us.
Even though he rose from the grave.
That's what you believe.
That's
there's
true.
no proof of that. I respect your right to believe
that.
But
actually, I want to talk about one of the things you said, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Of course.
I really appreciate it, and I love what you do out here.
Yeah.
That you said that Jewish believers in Jesus choose words to trick people.
Yes.
We're actually living out our faith.
Of course, you're living it out, but I'm saying that you guys cater your message to Jews to get them to connect to a Christian message that if it was just straight up, just follow Jesus, they would reject it.
So you don't see a Christian as anything to do with Judaism, as anything to do with the Jewish people?
No, what do you mean by a Christian? Someone who believes in Jesus?
Yeah.
That should not be involved with the Jewish people.
Not at all?
No.
Even though Jesus was Jewish,
Look,
his followers
Abraham's mission was to smash the idols, and you're bringing the idols into our house.
But how do you see it as idol worship?
Because if you believe that a man is a god or that man is a Messiah that clearly wasn't, there's many things that the Mashiach would have to do that none of them Jesus did. Bring peace to the world.
Yes, but as you know these things, that God reveals himself. He progressively reveals himself.
No, but it says specifically the Mashiach will do that. It says the Mashiach will do that, and Jesus didn't do that.
Do it.
Okay, that's your belief, but you could understand why me, who knows Jesus didn't do that at that time, and you would agree with me that he didn't do that at that time, how could you be seen as a Mashiach?
Because he did fulfill prophecy.
Which prophecy did he fulfill?
Tribe of Judah.
All of our tribe is the tribe of Judah. The fact that you're giving me that shows that there's actually no foundation and basis, in my opinion, respectfully, as a brother to brother. Right? So for me, I look at Christianity as a belief in idolatry. At least they're believing in one idol and not many idols.
But
so it's already better than polytheism.
You mentioned Abraham. God told Abraham that he would make him, through his seed, a great nation, and that he would be a blessing to the entire world.
Sure, I agree with that.
And that's what I believe, that our Jewish people were on this earth to make God known to creation, and that God actually has a plan for the Gentiles as well as the Jewish people.
That I'll agree, but I'll tell you this, right? Someone can say the same thing and trying to bring us to worship Satan. Right?
Yeah.
And say, well, we brought Satan, but also through Satan, we also brought all these other nice things. And so it's legitimate because they brought all those other nice things.
Right.
So that argument to me doesn't hold water. For me, I believe that God is not one person, it's oneness. The infinite universe, time, space, everything is one Hashem. When we say Shema Yisrael Adonai Lanu, Adonai Echad, we say God is one, not there is one God. So I believe in panentheism, right? And I think that Jesus was a leader of his time, whether it was good or bad, none of us were there. You believe it was good, I don't know, right? He could have been a great guy. He clearly was a rebel of some kind. He didn't like the status quo. He wanted to change things up. That's no doubt, right? He was a disturber of the Roman peace, which I support, right? Because the Romans were colonizing our civilization.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he was killed.
Yeah.
And once he passed away, we need to move on. And I think that a lot of the world took his life and turned him into a deity, which is why I see it as idolatry. And I think, in my opinion, you know, even though I love you as my brother, I think it's extremely harmful to bring these ideas for which so many Jews were burned resisting.
Yes,
and now you're bringing it back to us.
No, that's not true, because you can't judge a faith by its abuse. And if you know the teachings of Jesus,
you can also. I'm not a follower of Jesus.
So. Yeah, but if you know the teachings of Jesus, you would realize that it would lead to the loving of the entire world. It would lead to forgiving your enemies.
Yeah, but healing them, not just forgiving them.
Absolutely.
You have to help them heal from the situation. So for sure, I look at those who adopted Christianity over time, mostly by force, and realize that I'm not going to go and hate them and fight them.
Right.
I should show them that Hashem is one, and there's no intermediary thing in between us that should disconnect us from Hashem.
But the intermediary thing has been a Jewish thing since the beginning of time.
Also.
Well, Moses was an intermediary.
He was a leader, but no one was praying to Moses. They were not praying to Moses.
But the people at Mount Sinai were not telling Moses, "Yo, we got this. We don't need you." They were trembling in fear.
Sure.
You go up on our behalf.
There's no problem with having a leader. No one is saying it's not a leader. But when you pray to Hashem, there should be nothing disconnecting from Hashem. There should not be a Mary, a saint, a Joseph, or a Jesus preventing us from getting. Now you agree with me because you see Jesus as God. Right, so for you that's God, but I disagree. So you don't understand why for me.
Totally, absolutely. But have you noticed in the Tanakh that occasionally you'll see a figure that appears in human form, talking with Abraham, Jacob, Gideon, Manoah, in a human form, eating with them, having his feet washed, walking from place to place.
I mean, there's angels. There's angels for sure.
For speaking as the first person as God and doing things that only God can do.
No.
Jacob says, "I've seen God face to face, and my life has been delivered." They were expecting to die when
But you're
saw
assuming
God.
he saw Jesus.
I didn't say Jesus.
No, but you're assuming
a physical manifestation of God.
Doesn't mean you need to see a physical thing. You can see in many ways. You can see someone's actions. You can see someone's spirit.
I'm just going by what the text says.
So you're translating it literally, and I think a lot of Christians, maybe not you because you're a Jew, they translate it to the English mistranslations, and they interpret things with different words that were used at different times. So I hope that you're using the Hebrew.
Yes, we study in Hebrew.
Of course. So I hope that you're using the actual original Hebrew and getting to the conclusions through the Hebrew and not through the others, because then of course you're already using wrong sources.
I do agree though that you can have good translations, because otherwise God would
be saying,
if
you open a Siddur,
a lot of Muslims will say you can't come to God without knowing Arabic. You can't understand.
I don't agree with that.
I don't either.
Right.
I don't either.
But you can have a Tanakh that's properly translated from our Hebrew and from our sages, and not take it from Christians who are forcing on us.
Yes, but you have Tanakh that's translated from Hebrew to Aramaic, from Greek to Hebrew.
Right. It depends who's doing the translation. If the people who preserved the Torah, who kept on the scepter as Yehuda was supposed to keep the scepter, and not from the outside, then obviously from the outside it's going to be a little bit corrupt and most likely intentionally corrupted to fulfill agendas. So I think the translations need to come from our people. There are those translations that exist. And again, I respect your right to do what you want. I still see you my brother, but I hope that you will, do a tikkun and ridding yourself of idolatry and come back to Hashem, because Hashem is one. It doesn't have to be other things as well.
Rudy? Thanks, bro.
Of course.
I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and hearing
my perspective. And you should know it's all love. It's all love.
Yeah, man.
Love you, bro. You too.
Thank you. Of
course.
All right.
Yeah, lachi. We just had a conversation with a guy from Jews for Jesus who was trying to proselytize, push Christianity onto Jews, and I don't know why, but he thought he could do it to me. Now, my message to the Christian world is, of course, everyone should have the right to believe in what they want, but it is extremely offensive to proselytize and try to force or manipulate or trick Jews into converting to Christianity. For thousands of years, we've been persecuted, killed, and burned in inquisitions and in crusades, and we are the ones who've survived those attacks and those forceful conversions, and we're still here, and we don't want that message. We don't want to accept Jesus as a part of our tradition. It's your right to keep it for you, but keep it away from us. And my message to the Christian world is, if you truly respect the Jewish people, then let us be Jews. Don't try to change us and make us something else.